If you're over 40, well past that, you've probably asked yourself, or at least thought about, when you're feeling old and starting to doubt yourself, you've probably asked yourself either, should I still be lifting heavy at my age, or am I not progressing because I'm not lifting heavy enough? Now, both of these things are genuine concerns, but after 40, you should have got past telling your mates how big the weights were that you lifted. You should still want to build muscle and strength, but you shouldn't be showing off and injuring yourself in the process. Now, in this video, I'm going to give you some clear and practical advice to determine just how heavy you should be lifting based on physiology, recovery, and long-term results. No extremes, no ego lifting, just intelligent strength training. When you were in your 20s, if you're as daft as I was, you'd get obsessed with your 1 rep max. When I think about that now, it was just dumb. And as a 51-year-old, ouch, it just seems such a pointless measure. And that's because in your 40s and 50s, it is. Even just testing your 1 rep max, regularly or not, is going to risk injury and joint stress. And it adds additional fatigue that is difficult to recover from. So, if you're new to training, or have had some time out, or you just aren't sure how heavy you can go, I'm going to explain how to find the perfect weight. In fact, the real question we need to answer is not, should I lift heavy? It's, how much load creates a strong stimulus without overwhelming recovery? If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that I'm a big advocate of using either 2 sets or just 1 set. 2 sets is good if you're new to working out and want to perfect your form. 1 set will allow you to lift heavier and reduce recovery, but you need to be more confident of your limits and where you're at. Also, you need to aim for approximately 8 to 10 reps per set. This rep range is the most effective for building muscle in combination with increasing strength. It's also not overly harsh on our joints and tendons. So that's how many sets and reps we should be doing, but how do we choose the weight? If you've been training for a while, you should have a good idea of roughly what you can lift comfortably. Now, if you're doing 2 sets, on your last set, you should aim to have 1 to 2 reps left in the tank. If you're only doing 1 set, well, the same rule applies, but you need to make sure that you've completed a warm-up set with light weights so that you're not going in cold. You don't want to give yourself an injury by lifting too heavy as your first lift. Now, to give you an example of what this might look like, if you're going to do dumbbell bench presses and you're going to use 20 kilogram dumbbells, on your last set, if you manage 8 reps, but the last 2 reps you are losing form, so you are squirming around and wriggling about and what have you and struggling to get it up, that's too heavy. Okay? You need to drop down to 18 or even 16 kilograms. Aim to do 10 reps with absolutely perfect form in your last set. Once you can do that, then you need to add in some intensity techniques. Now, I've done a video all about that, which I'll link in at the end. So use your intensity technique to ensure that you're absolutely secure at 18 kilograms. Then the next time you're going to move back up to 20 kilograms, aiming to complete 8 reps in your last set with perfect form. If you can't complete 8 reps with perfect form when you've gone back up, you need to go back down to 18 kilograms and carry on with the intensity techniques. and then give it another try in a week or so's time. Now, it's really, really important that you're tracking exactly what you're lifting, how many reps, and whether or not you need to add weight or use intensity techniques next time. This is just so important. Now, the way I do it is I just have a spreadsheet on my iPad and I just fill it out as I go. I don't try and memorize it because I know it's not going to work. So, to clarify, when you're in your 40s and 50s, you're still lifting heavy. But, like in our example before, if you were in your 20s, you'd just keep grinding out those reps with the 20 kilogram dumbbells and your joints would take it. In our 40s and 50s, you've got to be smarter. You don't want your muscles writing checks that your joints and tendons can't cash. You're working really hard, just like when you were in your 20s, but now you've got to add in this additional layer of smart to make sure you don't wreck your joints. Bearing in mind everything that I've already said, there are a few clear indicators that you're lifting too heavy. So firstly, and we've already spoke about this, that your form breaks down too early. You should be lifting with perfect form. Or if you're holding your breath excessively, you should be breathing pretty freely as you're performing your exercises. Your joints ache more than your muscles, or your recovery is spilling into your next workout. So the next time you're working out, you're still actually feeling like you haven't had enough rest. And the final one is that you're feeling beaten up instead of trained. And I've experienced this. It feels like you've done 10 rounds with Mike Tyson, and it's not a good feeling. You've got to make sure if you're feeling like that, you're doing too much, you're lifting too heavy. Now, the thing is, muscle fatigue is productive. Joint irritation is not. If you can't maintain control of the lowering phase of the weight, then the weight is too heavy for your goals. On the other hand, you may be playing it too safe. So here's a few signs that you're not lifting heavy enough. So first of all, your sets feel easy. Okay, it should be that at the end of a set, you can feel it. That you're not sat there getting up and you're like, don't even need a breather, I'm ready to go again. It's too easy. Also, if you finish and you could clearly do 5 more reps, if you've got a load of reps left in the tank, it's time to up the weight. Or if you just never felt challenged, and that's just kind of a bit of a general one. If you get into the end of your workout and you just feel like, yeah, fine, I'm okay, I'm good to go again, you're not lifting heavy enough. Now, if that's you, increase the weight, but again, you need to do it gradually. So going from 10 to 20 kilogram dumbbells is too big a jump. Even if you feel like you could easily do it, you still need to put in that gradual increase. So you might want to go 10, 15, 20. Even if, as I say, you feel like you could easily do it, you need to do it gradually. So, can you still lift heavy after you've hit 40? Well, yeah, I think everything that I've said indicates that, but heavy should be earned gradually, programmed intelligently, and not tested impulsively. Your strength should rise steadily, not spike and crash. And here's the real shift after 40. You're no longer trying to prove strength. You're building durable strength. Strength that allows you to stay athletic, maintain muscle, protect your bone density, and most importantly, feel capable in daily life. And remember, the strongest men in their 50s are not the ones who are getting involved in bro style showing off, forever talking about how much they can bench. They're the ones who trained intelligently for decades. So remember, lift heavy enough to challenge, but light enough to recover from. Strength is still essential after 40, but intelligence matters more than aggression. Anyway, I hope that you found today's video useful in guiding you to get into the correct weights for your workouts. And don't forget, if you're enjoying the content, why not subscribe? I've got loads more videos coming up, all designed to help you get in the best shape of your life. Anyway, I'm Tommy. This is Six Pack 50, and I'll see you in the next one.